Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of wedding traditions. You know, those things we all do at weddings without really knowing why, like why do we throw rice? Why does the bride wear white? Why am I wearing pants? No one knows. Just kidding, I totally know why I'm wearing pants. These pants are amazing. Anyway, you won't believe some of these surprising facts about where these traditions came from. Okay, so we all know the bride wears white, right? It's like a rule. But have you ever wondered why that is? Why white of all colors? But did you know it wasn't always this way? The tradition of wearing white is actually relatively new in the grand scheme of things. Back in the day, brides just wore their best dress, whatever color it was. It could be blue, red, or even black. The color didn't matter as much as the quality and beauty of the dress. Like, imagine showing up to your wedding in a neon green dress. It sounds wild, but back then it was all about personal style and what you had available. Actually, don't imagine that. That sounds awful. But hey, to each their own, right? Anyway, it was Queen Victoria who made white dresses a thing. Before her, white was not a common choice for brides. In 1840, she wore a white gown to her wedding and everyone was like, oh my God, Queen Victoria looks amazing in white. It was a bold choice at the time, but it paid off. We should all do that. And so the trend caught on. Brides everywhere started to emulate her style. And bam! A tradition was born. Thanks, Victoria. So next time you see a bride in white, you know who to thank. It's all because of one queen's fashion statement that changed wedding history forever. Today, the white wedding dress is a symbol of purity and new beginnings, but it all started with a royal trendsetter. So, here's to Queen Victoria, the original wedding influencer. And there you have it. The story behind the white wedding dress, a simple choice that became a timeless tradition. Okay, wedding cake. Delicious, right? But also kind of weird when you think about it, like why are we all staring at this giant cake? Well, it turns out it used to be even weirder. Back in ancient Rome, they didn't have cake, they had bread. And they didn't just eat it, they smashed it over the bride's head. I'm not even kidding. They believed it brought good luck and fertility. Honestly, I'd rather just eat the cake or the bread. Just don't smash it on my head, please. All right, let's talk about bridal bouquets. Those beautiful arrangements of flowers. Yeah, well, they didn't start out so pretty. Back in the day, brides carried herbs and spices, and not just because they smelled nice. They believed it would ward off evil spirits and bad smells. Because, you know, hygiene wasn't exactly a thing back then. So next time you see a bride with a gorgeous bouquet, just be thankful she's not carrying a bunch of garlic and rosemary. Chapter 4. Wedding rings, more than just a shiny circle. Wedding rings, the ultimate symbol of love and commitment, right? But also just a circle, a very expensive circle. But there's actually a lot of history behind these little circles. The tradition goes all the way back to ancient Egypt, where they believed the circle represented eternity. And because, you know, circles never end. Get it? Anyway, they also believed that the ring finger was connected directly to the heart by a vein called the vena amoris. Now, we know that's not true, but it's still kind of romantic, right? Chapter 5. The best man from bodyguard to best bud. All right, let's talk about the best man. He's not just a guy in a fancy suit standing next to the groom. He's the groom's right-hand man, the one who's supposed to help him through the big day, ensuring everything goes smoothly. From adjusting the groom's suit to giving a heartfelt speech, the best man plays a crucial role. He's there to support, to encourage, and to make sure the groom doesn't lose his cool. But did you know that the best man used to have a much more intense job? Back in the day, his role was far more serious and dangerous. In medieval times, weddings were basically kidnappings waiting to happen. Rival suitors would try to steal the bride, so the groom needed his strongest and most trusted friend by his side to fend off any attackers. The best man was essentially a bodyguard ready to fight off anyone who dared to disrupt the wedding. He had to be brave, strong and loyal, always prepared for a potential battle. Thankfully, things have calmed down a bit since then. Nowadays, the best man's duties are much more relaxed and enjoyable. Now, the best man's biggest responsibility is just making sure the groom doesn't trip and fall on his face, usually. He might also be in charge of organising the bachelor party, holding the rings and keeping the groom's nerves in check. The best man is there to make the day memorable, to share in the joy, and to ensure that everything goes off without a hitch. From bodyguard to best bud, the role has certainly evolved, but the essence of loyalty and support remains the same. So the next time you see a best man at a wedding, remember the history behind the role. It's a position of honour, trust and friendship, one that has stood the test of time and continues to be an integral part of weddings today. Chapter 6. Wedding Veils. From hiding from ghosts to fashion statement. Okay, let's talk about wedding veils. They're pretty, they're flowy, and they can sometimes be a little bit in the way. But did you know they actually have a kind of spooky history? Back in the day, people were convinced that evil spirits would try to curse the bride on her wedding day. Like, seriously, what is it with people and weddings? So they would cover the bride's face with a veil to protect her from those evil spirits. Thankfully, we've moved past that, mostly. Chapter 7. Throwing rice from fertility symbol to confetti chaos. We've all seen it in movies, right? The happy couple walks out of the church and everyone throws rice at them. It's a classic scene that signifies joy and celebration. But why rice? What did rice ever do to anyone? It's not like rice is the only grain out there. So why has it become the go-to choice for wedding celebrations? Well, it turns out that rice is a symbol of fertility and prosperity. In many cultures, rice is seen as a life-giving force, a staple that sustains communities. So by throwing rice at the newlyweds, people were basically wishing them a happy and fruitful life together. It was a way to shower them with good fortune and hopes for a bountiful future. Imagine the scene, grains of rice flying through the air, landing on the couple like tiny blessings, each grain representing a wish for their future, a hope for their happiness. It's a beautiful tradition when you think about it. Of course, now we know that throwing rice at birds can actually be harmful to them. The rice can expand in their stomachs and cause serious health issues. So, while the tradition is lovely, it's not exactly bird-friendly. That's why many modern weddings have moved away from rice and opted for alternatives like confetti or bubbles. These options are not only safer for the environment, but also add a whimsical touch to the celebration. Imagine a sea of bubbles floating around the newlyweds or colourful confetti raining down. It's just as magical, if not more. Or, just clap really loud. Sometimes the simplest gestures can be the most meaningful. After all, it's the love and support of friends and family that truly make the day special. So, whether it's rice, confetti, bubbles, or just a round of applause, the important thing is the joy and celebration of the moment. Chapter 8. Honeymoons, from hiding out to living it up. Ah, the honeymoon. A romantic getaway for the newly married couple. But did you know that honeymoons weren't always about relaxing on the beach and sipping cocktails? Back in the day, honeymoons were a little more intense, like running away from your angry family intense. See, sometimes the bride's family wasn't too thrilled about the marriage, so the couple would basically go into hiding for a month, hence the honey in honeymoon. Because, a month is about how long a jar of honey lasts, or something like that. Chapter 9. Bridal showers, from dowry duty to gift-giving fun. Bridal showers. The pre-wedding party where the bride gets showered with gifts. But did you know that bridal showers actually have a pretty practical origin story? Back in the day, dowries were a big deal, like a really big deal. And not everyone could afford to give their daughter a huge dowry, so friends and family would get together and shower the bride with gifts to help her out. Thankfully, dowries aren't really a thing anymore. But hey, who doesn't love a good party with presents? Chapter 10. Tying the knot, more than just a saying, tying the knot. It's a common phrase for getting married, right? But have you ever stopped to think about why we say that? Like, what knot are we even talking about? Well, it turns out that the phrase actually comes from an ancient Celtic tradition called handfasting. During the ceremony, the couple's hands would be literally tied together with a cord or ribbon. It symbolized the binding of their lives together. And also probably made it really hard to walk down the aisle. Just kidding. Or am I? Outro, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these surprising facts about wedding traditions, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more fun videos. Did you know any of these facts? Because I definitely did not. I mean, I knew some of them, but not all of them. Like the rice thing? Mind blown. Anyway, I hope you learned something new today. See you next time.